The next stage was actually choreographing a dance routine or a piece of movement, not necessarily even dance, just movement around their composed music and sound, and that was led by Theatre in the Mill. Again, we had some brilliant workshop leaders.
My name is Lucy Hind and I'm the choreographer on the project. The participants arrived today with some music they had made last week, which is fantastic, and some great ideas of kind of what they saw in the music, the images, the characters, the style of movement they wanted.
Two warriors, an African and an Indian, and they're at war.
So today we've been developing choreographically some dance moves.
Does something happen to her while she's running, or did you just see her running?
Well, she can trip and fall or something.
That's good, so I
start to think about the animation as well, because if we've got something then to work from. My name's Ian Bloomfield. I'm the Artistic Director at the Theatre in the Mill, which is the university's professional theatre. The young people have already worked on the music, and actually one of the powerful things that's come out of the music is they're sort of quite tonal and they're fairly sort of narrative driven. Each piece of music, they're in section, new elements drop in through each of the pieces.
Because you can hear a drum beat constantly all the way through it.
And now you have to draw beads of sweat.
So they're already thinking about a narrative and music telling a story. So what we're doing is taking that a step further. I mean, we're in a way the bridging point between the music and the animation. So we're starting to get them to think about storyboarding, we're starting to get them to think about characterization.
I think now that they've got the physicality of how their character moves, like it's been hard, a lot of the girls are playing male characters, so we've had to find the difference, because now they don't have their face. They need to find a way that's moving that makes them distinctly male. It is hard, it's very hard. Right. And go.
I'm looking up to Pretty God. Then I bring my sword out and I've got a battle, and I step back because it's such a massive, it's really heavy.
Okay, do all that. So what we're asking them to do, sort of conceptually quite difficult actually, ask them to think about what the sections of that story might be. So they're going to have to start thinking about the quality of the movement that they're making and what that might relate to that's non-human. And what we're trying to get them to do is start taking movement out of the literal and into the flowing.
I do a lot of physical theatre and choreography workshops with children and also kind of young adults, and making their own vocabulary. So instead of me teaching them steps, they make up the steps from their own life experience and from things they like to do and gestures and stuff. Having the suits on makes it quite difficult for them. They have to be really clear about where they're turning with their shoulders, because they're used to using their faces and their heads and their facial expressions to tell a story. They can't use tiny gestures like in their fingers. So all of a sudden they have to translate that into their bodies, which I think they're finding a bit difficult. But other than that, they've been really good sports. They can't do any rolling on the floor, I think, which has upset them a bit. For them to be placed outside their comfort zone a little bit, because it's not their kind of usual hip-hop music video stuff, pop culture they're exposed to. And I think it's really good for them to be challenged in that they have to push themselves creatively. They can't go with images they know immediately. They have to start from scratch and build that up with their own imagination, which is really nice for them. And fantastic for them to be working with new technology that I think most of them didn't know anything about. I mean, I didn't know anything about it either. So it's good for them to combine the two. The progress from when they were really shy around each other to now they're kind of jumping and rolling. And they didn't want to touch, and now they're quite happy to have a bit of contact. Whatever activities young people get involved in ultimately will have an effect on things they want to get involved in the future.